What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this one, as you can see by the title of this video, I am interviewing the owner or one of the owners of TGA, the grading authority. That is Jason Robinson, who was so kind enough to allow myself and Kim to come on into their facility, sit down and have a conversation. By now, you guys have already seen the tour of TGA's facility, which is absolutely beautiful and just so state-of-the-art with everything that they do in terms of getting your cards graded. So prior to that tour, I was able to have a sit down with Jason and just ask him a bunch of questions that I know I've been really curious about, and maybe some of you have been curious about as well. So please sit down, relax, and enjoy this interview with Jason as he answers a lot of different questions regarding around card grading with TGA. And at the very end, there's a question that I kind of bleeped out a little bit because I'm going to make a separate video about it. And that's in regards to sports labels. I'm very excited for that one. So I'll make that a separate video, but definitely enjoy this Q&A with Jason. And let me know what you guys think at the end of the video. See ya.
Jason Robinson, I'm one of the original co-founders of the Grading Authority. Funny, good story too. So Mark, my partner, and I were sitting there sorting Prism at the time because we were big PSA submitters, okay? And as we're going through our cards, we realized, okay, I got about 100 of these cards that we're gonna submit, and we're gonna go through. And then we thought to ourselves, well, wait a minute here. We've already got a couple thousand of these cards out and it's been 6 months and I don't know when I'm gonna get them back. So if I start sending another 100 cards out, when am I gonna get these things back? And am I gonna get them back in the right time, right season? As we all know, it's all about the hype of the prospects in baseball, the rookies in all the sports, because if you don't sell them in that time frame, it's tough. Now it's the selling version. Obviously there's cards that I collect too, so those don't really matter when they came back. So my partner and I, we just thought to ourselves, personally, we're sick of it, right? The wait and turnaround times. And I think that was a lot of reasons for a lot of companies that started at that time. It almost sounds repetitive, but I think a lot of companies started because of that. Did we think this many people are going to get into the space? No, I don't think anybody did. But you know, it's just how you build your brand from there and go forward to make sure that you have longevity in the business that we built with the LCSs, the LGSs, A-Drive obviously being one of our big influential partners. But we started mainly because of that. We ourselves personally, we graded our own cards.
When I opened my card shop, I didn't expect like the boom of card shops to be really popular. Like, I mean, there's 3 on the same street alone. Granted, it covers 2 different towns, but just, you know, 10 years ago, I guess there was like only 1 card shop, 2 card shops, maybe in the whole state. And now they're just kind of popping up a little bit here and there. And like, you know, it's good for the hobby, but then again, it's also bad for business from your perspective. It's
tough too. I think as you can imagine, you know, already being a hobby shop, back then you could all get products. So now when you've got this many things, people are coming to you going, hey, what do you got in for, you know, Prism, right? The most popular thing. You might be like, I'm lucky if I got 1 box or any as an LCS because the breakers are, I'm happy the breakers are out there, don't get me wrong, but I think it's diluted the, well, definitely diluted for the LGSs and LCSs, there's no doubt about that. And you can't get product now unless you overpay for it.
The breakers are great for the hobby, but there's just so many of them. So like, you know, when I was starting out as a brick and mortar, I was reaching out to distributors and just couldn't get any product because, oh, we have already too many accounts. It's like, well, shit. So it's like, it's a pain. You know, I'm now just slowly starting to get stuff allocated to me. So it's a grind, it's a hustle, as you guys know, because again, there's so many competitors, whether it's a grading company or even a card shop. It's just, there's competitors everywhere.
Heck, top loaders now, I think there's 50 different brands.
Yeah.
Penny sleeves, there's 20 different brands, but whatever it is, again, the hobby's great, it's booming. Yeah. And I think we all have to weather the storm, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, there'll be X amount of grading companies, X amount of LCSs, LGSs, and hopefully Fanatics may come in and fine-tune some of the things, but we'll find out, we don't know. So the biggest concern was this. We watched the boom, right? So we thought, okay, I've been collecting cards for years, Mark does, we already have our own pool of people that follow us because I've sold cards, I'm a power seller on eBay. Our biggest concern was, oh crap, we're gonna get backed up. And it actually did happen, and then COVID hit like every other place, and it backed us up for 2 to 3 months, but we hired in the process, and obviously now with more competition, it's leveling out a little bit more, but that was our biggest concern. I was worried about having to shut it off, because we were getting the complaint emails just like everybody else, and I don't blame consumers at all, right? You pay for 30 days, you want 30 days. And as a new company, it's hard to say, I can't give that, but we get backed up, and that was the biggest fear, which is a good thing. I mean, we as a company, you want to be backed up. Yeah, you want to be backed up in business. It's a good thing, but that was our biggest fear, and luckily we overcame that by hiring employees at the right pace and growing at the right pace.
Because I know other grading companies, they rave about their turnaround times, and again, you send a card out, say day 1, it comes back day 60, and it's a completely different market for that card. But if you get it back in day 25, the market will be relatively the same. And I think a big focal point for grading companies is their turnaround time. But then again, do you want to pay for a quick turnaround time, or do you want to get a cheaper price just to get the cheaper price? Doesn't matter. So
right, and then as a person that's either, if you're collecting a card, it doesn't matter, right? Get the card
all the time.
Get the card, just get it protected. That's the idea. But as far as flipping, it's tough. It's really tough because there's only a couple names that are really recognizable to the smaller or the mass crowd, I would say. And I think things are changing though, slowly. So, think of that name. There was a big inspiration for it. The Grading Authority. By putting that name on there, Mark and I have been in the collectible industry, not just cards, for 20 plus years, 30 in probably my case. So first and foremost, it's cards, but it gives us the ability to expand into some things, and I'm going to say this now in the near future, like comic books. That's a lot of things people are asking about, is comic books. We may have dabbled in cassette tapes for a little bit.
Really?
But the word Grading Authority helps us encompass if we do want to expand, right? So we can go into comic books. And you don't have to change your name. It's not have to be Comic Grading Authority or this Grading Authority. It's the Grading Authority. It keeps us kind of under one roof with different subdivisions of the company. So by using the word the Grading Authority, it just simplified it for us as we expand down the road. It kind of encompasses everything.
A bigger vision. It's not just the card grading authority, right? The grading authority, again, you encompass so much more, and you foresee future expansion.
And we have a lot of things coming, like we have our own sleeves coming for TCG, our own sleeves coming, a lot of stuff that's everywhere, but as a consumer, it's easy to do a one-stop shop. As you know, printing prices are competitive and affordable and good quality. So we have a lot of things coming down the road, but it's easy to encompass it all under one name as opposed to segregating it. The biggest one right now in our industry, customer service. That is the hardest thing right now. You hear from, you could go to social media posts, you can hear where the hardest thing is getting a hold of somebody at a company. Maybe not some of the brand new ones, but once you start getting decent size like us, or some of the newer companies that have done a great job like HGA, it's tough to get a hold of people just for a simple question. Don't get me wrong, you can log in or you get emails from us saying, hey, your card's in this process or this part of the step of the process, but you may want to get a call just for peace of mind, or you want to contact somebody for peace of mind. You can contact us. We have somebody that's 24 hours. I don't like to use the word 24 hours, but yes, we're 24 hours on social media. Somebody's going to take advantage of that now. I'm going to be getting texted at midnight.
Right.
But we have a phone line and an email, and we actually have a royalty member club that has its own email for special members that upgrade to royalty membership. They get their own attention and get it even quicker. So for us, it's number one is customer service. That's a huge thing to us. And we don't bat an eye if there's ever an issue or an error. We'll fix it quick. If we ever, labeled something wrong, which can happen after 34,000 cards, we're going to send you a prepaid mailer to you to send back to us. It's not going to cost you a dime. So we're 100% all about the customer service. And then the biggest, I would say, differentiator, and you might know this from your personal, is our grading, right? We're fairly strict when it comes to our 10s. We do not allow 60/40s, and there's two reasons for that. I personally don't think, as the person that's writing the scale, a 60/40 should be a 10. But also, I think for people that are selling them, down the road, could be years from now, if a card's got, X amount and a 10, and some 10s have 60/40, some have 45, some have 50, that 60/40 should not be a 10. It's going to water down all the other true 10s.
And that's the thing for me, is I want a 10 to mean something. I don't want something to just be labeled a 10. If a grading company has a 45% gem mint rate, fine, send it if you want the easy 10. But if you want a 10 to actually mean something, hold some weight, that this is truly a near perfect or a perfect card, then I think having that kind of fame to claim is much worth it, because again 60/40 cards, they're not perfect. They may be a 9, maybe a 9.5, absolutely. Everything else is perfect, but again, if a card is off centered, a card is off centered. I'm
sure you see it too, but I watch all the guys at the card shows that are picking up 10s of any grading company, SGC, PSA, BGS, TGA, HGA, it doesn't matter who it is. And now they're looking at the 10s, right? They're not just looking at the grade going, it's a 10, so I'm going to buy it as a 10, but they're looking for, and they're making their own judgment, is that an actual 10 before they even buy the label 10. Exactly. It's interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm gonna name two parts of us. One, we just touched on the grading scale. We believe that our grading scale, although a little bit tougher than some of the other grading companies out there, that over time that will pay out benefits down the road, because a 10 should be a 10, a 9.5 should be a 9.5, and a 9 should be a 9. You should be able to look at it and see the difference. So it's most importantly about the grading. Then let's talk about the fun part. Why can't you have fun while you're grading your hat? Why does it always have to be business? Why does it have to be just a grade, right? So obviously, we offer different labels, and every label we offer is inspired by the card itself, whether it's Pokemon, inspired by the game, Star Wars, inspired by the movies, Yu-Gi-Oh, inspired by the game, and so on and so on. Everything's inspired. So why not be able to match your cards? If you want to, you don't have to. We have the Royal Black, which can keep it simple and timeless, but you should be able to match some of the things that you grew up and loved, or stuff you're just getting into love, with colors and or pictures on the label, something that means something to that game. Like for example, I happen to have a Yu-Gi-Oh right here. So a perfect example is the Yu-Gi-Oh, right? That's one of the main symbols from the Yu-Gi-Oh, and the purple matches the outside of it. Again, that's just an example of one of the cards. But we do that because we understand that people have the love for their TCGs and their cards, and they want to be able to display them and look at them. Not just, it's not all about grading for everybody. So it gives us two aspects.
So like card collecting, or just cards in general, sports card, TCG, at its pure core is collecting.
Correct. It's a hobby.
And it's turned into a business, which is fine. You know, the world sucks. If you can make some money, make money.
Yeah.
But again, to be able to enjoy the hobby at its core and collecting, to be able to put it in a case, to have it on a shelf or whatever. I mean, that's again where its fundamental, state started, was to like, oh, I got this, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card because he was the face of baseball and I like the way he played, whatever. I have this Yu-Gi-Oh card because I grew up with the card game and I like Dark Magician or whatever. And I think the whole business aspect of it is really taken over, which is fine, but people do tend to forget about the collecting aspect. And with these custom labels, which I have a question about that later, are really, make the hobby more fun, or at least more fun than it is to be.
Yeah, why not be able to do both, right? Now, why not be able to grade and have a little fun enjoying it? As you know, we're the only company that has a slab designer on there, right? So if you have a card, like you said, you loved, you've had it since you were a kid, you're like, I want to see what this card looks like before I send it out to TGA. You can preview the thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
The minute I understand also, by the way, with the shipping, right? Because the world's kind of a up in shambles right now when it comes to shipping. Whether it's time getting there, tracking sometimes isn't updated as quickly as it should be with all the companies, and it stinks. But everything's going through mail right now because it's a lot of stuff you got to buy online. But for us, the minute it gets here, or I should say the minute, within a timely manner when it gets here, Jenny, our office manager, will check every one of those in. So the day that it arrives on your tracking, you should also be getting a follow-up email that states your cards are here, and then they immediately after Jenny checks them in, they go into our vault. So you're going to get something from us stating it's here after you've already got the tracking notification if you checked in from your shipping. So you kind of get two notifications on that one day for peace of mind, and then of course it stays in our vault, which is locked in under cameras, and throughout the process, at least you're getting emails telling you, hey, it's in this process. So your cards are going through it and it's still here. Vice versa, when it goes out for shipping, it goes, you get an email for it for shipping, and all of our shipping is picked up here from USPS, UPS, or FedEx. So it's not like we go and drop it off somewhere. Everything is physically picked up here, which is very better than us dropping it off somewhere else. The answer to the first part is no, we didn't expect it, right? Mark and I started this as a sports company, which we still do plenty of sports. We wanted the Royal Black, which is our label, will never change. It'll be the one label over time that goes over everything. We had this graphic designer at the beginning that said, why don't you give this Pokemon thing an idea? With the new symbol from the Pokemon that we use, it's a derivative of the ball, and then you have the honeycomb on it, which comes from the tins. A lot of people don't realize that. And then the colors right now come from some of the types of Pokemon, but now there's more types coming out, so I may have to add to that. So we didn't know how big of a hit it was going to be, and it just blew up because I think it goes back to the fun part of grading, right? So why not be able to grade and have fun and make it look aesthetically good? But then the next part came, A-Drive. Everybody knows him on YouTube. He reached out to us. We didn't know who he was, right? Great guy. We did a little research and we said, wow, everybody knows this guy A-Drive. So let's get A-Drive in. We had a meeting with A-Drive down in Connecticut. Next thing you know, he's part of the team, puts the word out, and boom. And then we said, you know what? Why stop there? Why just have fun in Pokemon? There's tons of Star Wars collectors, tons of Yu-Gi-Oh collectors. There's new stuff coming out, like Weiss Schwarz is getting popular. You know, MetaZoo's got a popular. Yeah, we have the label for MetaZoo. I don't know if you've even seen that yet.
Not yet.
I'll show you today. And so we said, why stop? There's more stuff coming. And sports, everybody's asking us about sports. How come we don't have a custom level for sports?
That's my next question.
And I'm going to preview something. This is the first time I'm saying it.
That's all. That was literally my next question.
Yeah.
You know, people at the shop love the custom
I know.
labels with TCG. Can we see custom labels for sports cards in the future? Because I do a lot of sports submissions with you guys.
And it'll be simple and clean, so you don't have to worry about somebody coming in and going, well, I don't know if I like the weird design. It's not going to be. It's going to be the same exact design you see right out layout.
Because I know like the black label you mentioned, you know, it's very clean, it's simple, it looks good with every card no matter what team color it is. But if you can add like a navy blue and a red for like the Patriots, for instance,
oh, we know.
I think it'll just make that.
We're testing them and we looked at them. We're like, we got to get those things out there. We're actually hoping. This is our 1 year anniversary. We might premiere them at that show. We don't know yet.
Oh, it's not.
So hopefully sooner
I
or
might have
later.
to get there for
Sooner,
that.
yeah, you need to be swinging by, right? Two big previews that we're working on is the security on the slab. That's the biggest difference. That's for a lot of people. It's kind of secondary, right? Right now, a lot of people love the choice of labels and grading, but we want to have that differentiator. So you know, when you get your slab in the hand, how do you know it's completely different than everybody else's? So we have some things we're working on with the slab itself. We're not going to change the dimensions as far as it, because you still want to be able to fit in your collection, be common, but there's going to be a lot of security features added, whether it's our name, different patterns, better type of material. So some small things are going to be added with that. We're going to be adding. I just talked about sports. It's coming up. We're talking about an alternate art label for Pokemon for some of the people that maybe want more black on the labels. And of course, one of my personal favorites. I haven't released it. I've been working on it for a year with our designers. I love Marvel stuff. I love DC stuff. So the comic labels are coming. When I say comic, I mean comic cards, like Upper Deck, Flair Ultra, some of those. I'm personally not, but it's weird. You guys, it's my favorite by far. So we've got more labels coming out. And of course, the security features are going to be a big thing with us, watermark and things like that. And hopefully, our pop report's already fully customizable right now. We're always constantly working on that in the slab designer to make it more, user friendly.
Before we wrap up this little interview right here, do you have anything else you want to say to the folks watching this in terms of TGA or in terms of the grading process, slabs, labels, or any message to potential people that want to submit their cards to?
So I would say this. I understand, as a person who's been in the industry for a long time, to trust a new company. It's tough. I mean, you've got some of whether it's your favorite item or your most valuable item. It doesn't matter what it is, because quite frankly, favorite's priceless more than just value, right? If it's your own item. And I get it. Sometimes you don't trust that new company or the mail at that point. Give us a shot. I promise you, it will not hurt you in any way. And if you have any feedback or any bad perception of it, please let me know personally. But I think it's worth giving us a try, especially at the $20 price point. We're very inexpensive. Give us a try. New England, we're the first in New England, right? So that's good for the New England community to have a business here that, as we employ and grow bigger too, that's good. But I say give it a shot. And if you don't feel comfortable giving us a shot, pay attention. Get on our list when our mystery packs drop, because one tweet, those things sell out 400 packs within an hour. So that way, we price them accordingly, so they're very inexpensive, but you get an opportunity to try our slab without sending your own card in.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, Jason.
Anytime.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.